New tonight on ABC 57 News at 6. A South Bend home has neighbors on edge.
What they claim is going on, and what may be more shocking, who we learned owns that home. Plus,
go to jail.
Kicked to the curb. Some tenants are now forced out of their Elkhart apartments. At 5, we showed you why the landlord is to blame. All new tonight, what he just told us.
And a house fire claims the life of a Berrien County woman. Why firefighters say the home went up in flames so fast.
And right now, things nice and quiet across the area, but we are tracking some rain showers as we head into our Friday. The very latest with forecast track coming up. ABC 57 News at 6 starts now.
Covering South Bend, Elkhart, and all of Michiana, this is ABC 57 News at 6.
You just get tired of that. You know, it's exhausting, doesn't look good.
Neighbors say they are just simply fed up. They say this house should be declared a public nuisance, but the city of South Bend refuses to step in. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Dorman.
And I'm Kim Chappell. That house is located along West Colfax, and it's owned by a former St. Joseph County judge. All new for you tonight at 6. ABC 57's Jillian Mahan has been digging deeper into those complaints and the city's policy on public nuisance sites. She joins us live right outside of that home. And Jillian, what seems to be the problem with this property?
Well, neighbors tell me that there is constant suspicious activity happening at 610 West Colfax and 606 West Colfax. Now, we went digging for some of the police records for these properties, and there are pages of calls to the police department from these two addresses. But the city says that that's just not enough to step in.
You just get tired of that. You know, it's exhausting, doesn't look good. And it seems like when we complain about it, nobody does anything about it.
This is a concerned neighbor from the 600 block of West Colfax. He did not want to be identified and asked that we only refer to him as Joe. He's lived in the Colfax neighborhood for years and says he's had enough of these two properties.
There's a lot of traffic day and night going in and out, late at night, in the morning. We know that it's drug activity. Sometimes transactions take place outside, and we see that.
We pulled the police records for the past 2 years and found multiple complaints about suspicious persons and drug activity. So we reached out to the property owners and found that the homes belong to former St. Joseph County Superior Court Judge Roland Chambly Jr. We were unable to get in contact with Chambly, but talked to the city about why a property with so many complaints isn't listed as a public nuisance. We were told that police have to find consistent evidence of drug activity before an ordinance can be established. But Joe and his neighbors are concerned about what could happen if the activity continues.
It makes me very nervous because, you know, usually drug activities, that kind of thing, leads to dangerous situations. You never know what's going to happen. Somebody could get upset and maybe shoot through a window or something like that, and that's not a good thing.
Now, neighbors tell us that the Chambleys own the property, but the property manager is the one who actually lives on site and is the one who's aware of everything that's been going on these properties. Reporting live from South Bend, Jillian Mahan, ABC 57 News.
A Berrien County house fire took the life of a woman this morning just 1 week shy of her 87th birthday. ABC 57's Jason Aubrey joins us live from West Wagner Road where that deadly fire happened. And Jason, firefighters told you, gosh, when they got there, it was just too late.
No, that's right. As I showed you at 5 o'clock, the roof of this building collapsed into the home by the time firefighters had arrived, and all they could do was hope that the woman was not home. Now, crews got here around 5:30 this morning and put the fire out as quickly as they could. That's when they found 86-year-old Helen Ott in the living room of the home. Neighbors hadn't seen Ott outside for years, and her son would visit every Wednesday, bringing her pre-cooked meals she would heat up in the microwave. The firefighters don't know what started the fire, but say it's likely anyone trapped inside would not have survived because of the cinder block construction.
Once the roof caved in, it's pretty much like inside of a fire pit. It contains all, it holds all the heat in, it holds everything in, and it can't get out.
Now, Helen Ott has lived here in this home alone ever since her husband died. That's when her son took up the job of caring for her, and according to relatives, she refused to leave this home. Reporting live in Berrien County, Jason Aubrey, ABC 57 News.
Some Hager Township newlyweds will have a terrible surprise waiting for them when they get home from their honeymoon. Neighbors woke up this morning to a fire coming from that home. Fire crews were able to quickly put that fire out, but they say the home is still a total loss. They are working to find out the cause.
Turning our attention now to the weather, Chief. A little bit warmer today, not bad.
Yeah, a little bit warmer. It only hit about 70 yesterday with those clouds, but now we had the sunshine today. Very pleasant weather. It looks nice right now on ABC 57 First Warning Doppler radar. Not showing any showers at all. Down in our southern counties, especially around Rochester, heading out to the lake looks great right now. Around Ewing Road, 18th Street looks good. Main Street looks just fine. And check out the temperatures, still in the 80s, but low 80s. 81 degrees in Rochester. That's one of the warmest spots we have around the area right now. 77 degrees, but lots of sunshine also right around South Bend. If you're going to be heading out across the area, maybe Winona Lake, heading out downtown, looks good. 74 through 7 p.m. 73 degrees by 8 p.m. down to 71 at 9. And into the upper 60s by 10 p.m. So we'll be seasonably cool across the area later on this evening and into the overnight, but we will see an increasing chance of some showers and a few thunderstorms for our Friday. We'll talk about that and the fact that we actually could use a little bit of rainfall coming up in just a few minutes. Guys.
Alcohol, cocaine, and marijuana, we are learning tonight, they were all in the system of a Reserve Lakeville police officer when he died in a car accident. This is all according to investigators. 28-year-old Danny Cox lost control of his car a week ago today on Lake Trail and then crashed into a tree. According to police, his blood alcohol level was twice the legal driving limit. He also tested positive for cocaine and marijuana. And this news is really shocking to those closest to him.
Yeah, in fact, we contacted the Lakeville Police Department today for reaction to this news. The chief told ABC 57 in a written statement the entire Lakeville Police Department was very shocked, saddened, and dismayed to learn the recent news of the toxicology results of Danny Cox. Danny's decisions are in no way a reflection of the fine officers of the Lakeville Police Department, the chief said. This tragic and untimely loss of life was a result of one person's poor decision making. He also said while Cox was on the roster, he hasn't worked there for quite a while. I also reached out to a manager at Hilltop Restaurant in Lakeville this afternoon where Cox also worked. The woman I talked to was upset. She already says she feels like she's said enough and declined my request for an interview today.
And new today, the woman accused of leaving her baby to die in a dumpster may not be able to leave the county after all. The attorney for Purvi Patel asked the judge if she could attend a family event next month in Chicago. Now, the judge said yes unless the prosecutor objected. Well, we learned today that the prosecutor filed a motion to keep Patel, who is on an ankle monitoring device, in St. Joseph County. She is charged with neglect in her baby's death. If convicted, she faces up to 50 years in prison. Patel is due back in court in October.
Several people have been forced from their Elkhart apartments by the city. The mayor says he had no choice. The landlord is so behind on his bills. ABC 57's Judy Lykowski has been working on this story all day for us. She is live in Elkhart outside that apartment house on Kinsey Street. And Judy, how many people are out on the street there tonight?
Well, you guys, in this one rental home alone that's divided into 4 apartments, at least 20 people are affected. And I'm going to step out of the way because you can see that things are getting tense. The police have been called out here. These folks do not have gas and they do not have any water right now. Things are getting tense. And the city's mayor said that he had no choice but to turn the water off on these folks. Now, the mayor did call the landlord today heartless when we spoke to him over the phone. This landlord, according to the city building department, owns 55 rental homes here in Elkhart, and the city is fearing there might be a lot more people in the same boat as these people. Now, the landlord, Marlo Yoder, lives right down the street from here. I was camped out at his house all day, and he finally came out and he talked to me right around 5 o'clock. Now, he paints a very different story. He says he foreclosed on all of these homes, and he doesn't own any of them anymore. And he told the tenants that he was going to be turning off these utilities and that they needed to get out, and he does not own these homes. The bank does. A lot of people want to know, why didn't you pay the utilities? Did you warn these folks?
Number one, they did have a notice of me that I was going to close down the building. And someone said, well, we don't know where to go. I said, well, so either way, in so much time, the building's going to be shut down. And they knew about it. Secondhand, people don't pay rent. They haven't paid rent there in months. If people don't pay rent, it's pretty hard to pay utilities when there's nothing coming in.
Like I said, things are definitely tense out here tonight. There was just a different situation happening, and one of the tenants are being taken off to jail right now. The tenants, though, they still tell me that they're not buying that story from the landlord and that they still want their money tonight. $650 is what they say. They each paid for that down deposit, and they also talked with police about this matter. They're hoping that they can file charges on this man and get their money back. Meanwhile, La Casa is setting up a fund for these folks if you would like to help them out, and it will be available tomorrow morning at all First Source banks, and it's called the Kenzie Street Fund. If you would like to help, you can make a deposit at any First Source bank, and we're told also an attorney in town has volunteered their time to help these folks in court as well. Reporting live in Elkhart, Judy Lykowski, ABC 57 News.
Right, a very active scene there where Judy is. We'll continue to follow it and give you an update tonight at 10 and 11. An Indiana state trooper is crediting a company in Maine for saving his life. Trooper Jared Lentz was shot 6 times in June during a shootout with a man robbing a gun shop in southwestern Indiana. His bulletproof vest stopped those bullets. Lentz visited the company that makes that material to thank them in person.
Today, the former head of Indiana schools announced he is stepping down from his job in Florida. Tony Bennett has been working there as the education commissioner. Now, the announcement comes just 3 days after the Associated Press revealed he changed the grade of a charter school run by a major Republican donor when he was the Indiana school chief. Bennett says he did not do anything wrong.
The president of a Michigan college is apologizing today for remarks some state lawmakers found racially offensive.
And they said that we violated the standards for diversity because we didn't have enough dark ones, I guess is what they meant.
Yeah, that comment came during a subcommittee hearing in Lansing. Hillsdale President Larry Arnn doesn't want the state to adopt Common Core standards in reading, writing, and math. He says that he wasn't trying to insult the government officials who tried to document the races of Hillsdale students. The college later issued an apology on his behalf.
A man on a bicycle got hit by a car this morning in South Bend. Now, we first broke this story on ABC 57 News this morning. It happened around 12:30 near the intersection of Ironwood and Dunn. Medics took the bike rider to the hospital. Witnesses say his face was swollen and he had a large gash. He appeared to be in his early 20s. They also told us that biker was not wearing a helmet.
Some big changes today on a South Bend construction project. Traffic on State Road 23 shifted to 1 lane in both directions, and 3 offshoot roads are closed. Notre Dame Avenue, Francis Street, and Twickenham Drive will all be blocked off now through mid-October. Busy over there. State police were out there this morning to make sure that there weren't any problems. Well, cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. The start of the college football is less than a month away now.
And today, the first coaches poll of the year came out. The Fighting Irish are ranked 11th, and some players are already getting attention. Lewis Nix III, Stephon Tuitt, Bennett Jackson, and quarterback Tommy Rees. 4 Notre Dame opponents are ranked in the top 25. Stanford is at number 4, Oklahoma 16, Michigan 17, and USC is ranked 24.
As for the top 5, no surprise here. 2-time defending BCS champs Alabama, they are ranked again number 1. The Tide lost several starters but are poised to make a run at another national title. Ohio State is number 2, followed by Oregon, Stanford, and Georgia round out the top 5.
And the Notre Dame football team is getting ready to hit the road. For the first time in nearly 20 years, the Irish are opening training camp out of town. The Notre Dame equipment manager tweeted these photos today. Starting on Monday, Notre Dame will hold 4 practices at Shiloh Park and Convention Center in Marion. That's about 100 miles from South Bend, before returning to camp on August 9th. Coach Kelly says he's excited about that trip.
Heads up before you cook dinner here tonight. 50,000 pounds of ground beef is being recalled, and some of it was sold right here in Indiana. What you need to know to stay safe. Plus,
racing fans rejoice. I'm ABC 57's Daryl Bajoris. Coming up, I'll give you a live look at the Great Lakes Grand Prix in Michigan City.
And not bad out there right now. In fact, the high temperatures have been fairly pleasant across the area. Some mid to upper 70s, low 70s along the beaches, but up to near 80 in our southern counties. We'll talk about another warm-up tomorrow, but we're also tracking some rain coming up.
Live coverage like no other. ABC 57 News and Live View go live anywhere, anytime.